Rockstar gang, what up? What up? Appreciate everyone joining the live stream. Do me a favor, smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Make sure you click that post notifications bell so you don't miss out on any new content. Yeah, going to be talking about a bunch of things that I feel like just needs to be talked about with the Carolina Panthers right now. We're on the brink. There's a lot of you lose Josie Jewell. I don't know how long he's going to be out for. You got Shaq Thompson going down, so I do think that there's some free agents that the Carolina Panthers could target. So we're going to talk about that. Potential trades, obviously, if you've obviously been paying to Twitter and stuff like that, there's obviously a lot of trade rumors that Kansas City could be reaching out to us for either Adam Thielen or Deontay Johnson. There's other teams out there that could be reaching out for Adam Thielen. There's also been rumors that started at the beginning of the year that Dallas could have been looking at Miles Sanders. So again, and who knows if obviously if Deontay Johnson is going to be here next season due to the fact that he's in the last year of his contract. So, does Deontay Johnson want to be here? We shall see. So there's a lot to talk about because we are at a bit in we're in a weird place right now. We're in a weird place. I agree. PBG, I don't disagree with you as much as I want to keep Deontay Johnson on this team because he obviously is one of the key components to what we've seen in this offense. But it's hard for me to disagree with that statement. I really do. Ropp Star, I've been watching for years now. I appreciate that, Kenneth. Guys, do me a favor. Make sure you like, subscribe, share the live stream. If you could, I would greatly appreciate that. It goes a long way. Of course, as always, we've got a live goal of 100 likes or more. All right. And this is really how simple it is to like, subscribe, and click that post notifications bell. It's really simple. Just watch. That's it. That's all it takes. So live goal of 100 likes or more. I would greatly appreciate that. All right. But what's good, Kenneth? Appreciate you joining. Eric says, didn't get to see the game, had to listen on radio, but got power back this morning. Eric, I'm glad. I hope everyone is safe. I hope everyone in your family is safe. I hope you are okay. And I hope your home's okay. I hope everything is good your way, my friend, and blessings are coming your way. Really do. I really do. Because I know what this storm did up in North Carolina, the upstate of South Carolina, and other parts of the country, and of course, Florida, there's a lot to be thankful for that didn't get hit by that storm. And so, but prayers out to those that got hit by that storm. And, I hope that, everybody, bounces back quickly. You know what I mean? Bounces back quickly. What's going on, Earl Locklear? What's good? Appreciate you joining. Am I able to become a member on my iPhone? I never find it how to do it. There's a link in the description right here where you can join right here. I can actually put the membership right here in the chat for you. That link right there should take you right to you becoming a member. Okay. That link right there should take you to becoming a member in the chat right there. Kenneth. So if you were looking for it, it's right there. All right. Why won't you stay? Do I gotta tighten you up a little bit? I had to tighten it up a little bit. All right, let's get right into it, man. We got a lot to talk about. Let's get right into the slideshow. I got a slideshow for you guys today. We're gonna go over a couple things, actually. Let me get it like this. Now, because then you can't see me. Then this one's kind of crazy. You know what? Screw it. We'll rock with this one. I kind of like this. This is different. All right. So Panthers are on the brink, man. We're on the brink. Okay. That's the topic of today. So we're on the brink. 3 players are back at practice. Jaden Crometti. Okay. Jaden Crometti's back at practice. You got Dane Jackson coming back to practice. And of course, Ian Thomas. They're back at practice. Here's the thing. I'm not going to sugarcoat things today, guys. Like, things look rough here in Carolina. Monday was just another brutal reminder that this team is drowning in bad luck, okay, and injuries. First, they got the lovely news that Shaq Thompson, their captain, longtime linebacker, tore his Achilles, right, against the Bengals. And that's just something that we didn't need. It's just another major blow to this defense that already looks suspect. We can't tackle to save our lives. Like I said in my short yesterday when I broke down the recap. If you haven't checked out the last 2 shorts I posted, go check them out. Make sure you like them. But as if that wasn't enough, right? Ladies and gentlemen, they found out that, Josey Jewell, there are other starting linebackers dealing with a hamstring and groin issues because why not? When it rains, it pours in Carolina. I've always said right now for the Carolina Panthers, it's going to get worse before it gets better. I've been saying that. It's going to get worse before it gets better. And that's kind of been going on for a couple weeks now, right? And Joel's going to be out for a couple weeks. So we're just left with this defense that's just more of a skeleton crew than a functional unit at this point. And there's a small flicker of light at the end of this godforsaken tunnel. Dave Canales finally gave fans something we can cling on to, right? Some players are actually on the way back to practice. He didn't give us a miracle, but at least it's something, right, to add to some rotation. I think Evero is going to have to adjust this defense to make it less complex. I think there's going to have to be more rotations. And, but, Canales spoke to the media. He broke down Thompson and Joel's situation, revealed that 3 players who started the season on injury reserve might be back on the practice field this week. And hopefully those, hopefully those eyes aren't blinded by the burning dumpster fire that is the Carolina Panthers this season. Now, Canales did throw in some usual coaching speaking about competition, how these guys need to handle the workload. And again, he's not wrong, right? Like, let's face it, ladies and gentlemen, if these dudes can't stay healthy and make it through practice without pulling a muscle, we'll call it a win at this point. Like, if these dudes can stay healthy, make it through a practice without pulling muscle, that's a win in my book, right? Because right now we got hamstrings, we got groins, we've got so many issues going on. Now we got an Achilles. You got Derek Brown already out for the year. And the biggest surprise is that, and knock on wood, but J.C. Horn. You would think that of all these guys, he'd be the one because he's obviously that's what he's been known for. But we need more warm bodies on the field. I know beggars can't be choosers, but we are hurting right now. We are hurting right now. Kenneth, let me see something here. I'll have to send you something for the, I have to, let's see here. Trying to see where you can, if you go to my profile, okay, what you see where the Ropp, if you go to so Kenneth, go to the Ropp report, like homepage, okay, like where you just type in on, go into YouTube, type in the Ropp report, click on me. It should say home video shorts live community membership. Go to membership. It should take you there. You should be able to become a member. If not, I'm not really sure. Let me see if I can put the full link in there. Hold Hold on, Kenneth. Let me work this out for you real quick because I don't know why it's not giving you the full access to the membership link. Here, try this link. Try this link to become a member. I'm not sure. You might have to do it on your laptop. I'm not sure. That's the link to become a member right there. So try that. I'm not sure why it's not letting you do it. You know, that's beyond me. That's a YouTube thing. That's a YouTube thing. But yeah. Let's see here. Let's get to some. Do you see a dollar symbol beside the chat bar? Oh yeah, that one. Oh, that's true too. You could do that. Trevor Wallace time. Yeah, it is. I would trade Jerry Brown too in the offseason for a first and a second. It's time to complete rebuild. PPG's coming in with some hot takes. Hot takes. Not saying it's a bad take, but it's a hot one. It's a hot one. I'm sorry, I'm not for fire sale. We need to build around core players. I think we should re-sign Andy for a year or two until we figure out what we're doing. Jason Peters to sign with Seattle. I saw that. God, I mean, the guy's 43 years old. This will be his 21st season in the NFL, 42. I mean, my God, talk about a guy who's been around the league for a hot minute, right? But good Lord, good for him. You know what I mean? Good for him. Good for him. But anyways, so we've got this like 21 countdown. It's on. You got players on injury reserve who can return to practice after 4 weeks. So now that the Panthers have 21 days to figure out if they're fit to rejoin the active roster. If they don't, well, then they're done for the season, right? No pressure. So Jackson, Cromartie, Ian Thomas, they're on the clock. If they can actually stay healthy, show some level of competence during practice, they'll be able to suit up, try to plug some of the many, many holes in this sinking ship. And honestly, with Dane Jackson coming back, I like that secondary even more. You move Troy Hill out, you put Dane Jackson at slot or in the nickel, and you keep Mike Jack and J.C. Horn outside. I think you've got a solidified secondary right there. I think your secondary is set when Dane Jackson comes back. So if as long as he's ready to go. But there are some other players that are injured. They're still MIA, right? There's more because in addition to the 3 guys possibly coming back, the Panthers still have a laundry list of players sitting on the sideline. You still got Jonathan Brooks, their second round pick, who's still out. We don't know what's going to happen because of him as of right now. You've got outside linebacker DJ Wanham, Amari Bono, still collecting dust too. So at this point, for me, it feels like the Panthers IR right now is more crowded than an actual active roster. We're walking through the hospital ward right now every week, and it's a new disaster. It seems like every single week. So it's nice that some players are getting ready to practice again, but it's hard for me to get excited when half of this team is still down for the count. Like the Panthers are a mess right now, plain and simple. Like you lose Shaq Thompson for the season. You got Josie Jewell out for a few weeks. It's a disaster for a defense that's already barely hanging on. But it's great that, you're getting guys back like Jackson, Cromartie. I could care, no offense, I could care less about Ian Thomas. He hasn't done nothing for me, right? So it's like, because with Ian Thomas, it's more for me like, what have you done for me lately? That's why the Carolina Panthers should have treated him this offseason, and he shouldn't even be on this team. But that's a different story for another day. But they're coming back to save the day. They're coming back to help this team, hopefully. Saving the day or saving the rest of the season, I doubt it. It's going to be a long road. So appreciate everyone joining the live stream. Do me a favor, smash that like button, hit that subscribe button. Ian Thomas should help out the run game. Yeah, I mean, Marcos, the run game seems fine right now. I'm not too worried about the run game, but yes, Ian Thomas does benefit in that aspect of things. I'm fine with trading Adam. I think we should keep Deontay Johnson. Yeah. I mean, Dixon, we didn't really lose much pace on the offense without Adam Thielen. So, Thielen could be a guy that they move on. Maybe Kansas City. Hey, and honestly, I think that's a good trade for Kansas City because they need it. Unfortunately for me, I lost Rashid Rice for the year in my fantasy team, ladies and gentlemen. So, but hey, Rashid, you know what? We get well soon, my friend. Hopefully it's not too bad. We had the best O-line in week 4. I mean, man, we've had the best O-line the past 2 weeks. Really, the O-line hasn't been that bad. It hasn't actually been bad all season. It's just when Bryce Young played, it was just a different story. We saw a total different team, right? So I think the O-line solidified. I think this secondary will be solidified once Dane Jackson comes back. I really do. I think when you got Mike Jack, Dane, and JC Horn out there, that's a very good corner squad. And Dane Jackson has been a third corner, a CB3 on on the Bills the whole time he was there. So I think this is perfect, the way that they've got it set up. But with no pass rush, it does not help. Your corners are going to have to do a lot of work in a pass-heavy league. And, we're going to talk more about that and how we really need to hit the free agents market, I think, a little bit harder this week. I really do. I think we need to hit the free agency market big time. All right. We need as much draft capital as possible, for sure. Dixon, I totally agree. I totally agree. I don't know how much we'll get from Kansas City for a guy like Thielen. I've also heard the Buffalo Bills are interested in Adam Thielen as well. But, I know that probably Kansas City is licking their chops right now because they got to find someone to replace Rashid Rice. So, we'll talk more about them in a minute, Elizabeth. We'll talk about them more here in a little bit, Miss Lassiter. Shaq and Josie led the team in tackles, but instead of running backs and the loss at the line of scrimmage or behind it, they were first hitting the running backs 2 or 3 yards past the line of scrimmage. So maybe these young linebackers can hit maybe so. Maybe so. I mean, maybe Trevor Wallace could step up. And then who do you got behind Trevin Wallace? You got Trevin Wallace going in for I'm assuming where Josie Jewell was, and then you've got I gotta double check this real quick. Let's see. I mean, you got Calden Churliss filling in. So yeah. I don't know about all that. We'll see. We will see. Ms. Lasser, we'll definitely talk about that. Offense can score. We need to go heavy on defense for sure, Isaiah. How much cap space does the team have right now? Based off of Spot Track, I think it's like $6 million. I think it's only like $6 million that they got available. I'll have to double check. I'm going to look right now for you, Shane. Oh no, cap space right now, they're the worst in the league right now. We only have like 734,699 cap space. So they probably are going to have to make some moves at the trade deadline. Not only for the cap space, but to be able to sign some free agents, like the ones I'm going to mention today. So sorry, Shane, they are at the bottom of the barrel. Lomax, what's up, man? Appreciate you joining. I don't agree with trading DJ because then we'll have to hear people complaining about no weapons like last year. Yeah, it's a tough situation. Again, we're at some crossroads, Kenneth. We're at some crossroads. Cash, that's because Tuttle gets pushed off the line. Yeah, I mean, Nick Thurman looks better than him right now. Charles, yep. You think we go get Barrett back? We might. We'll talk. Well, he's part of my free agency list. I'm not going to lie to you. But I'm going to break him down. Canales is taking over the worst roster in the NFL with the worst cap he's going to make. Yeah, and Dixon, that's because right now we're eating all the dead cap space. Right now, we're eating all the dead cap space this year because of that. So, Yeah. It's unfortunate, but that's where we are. We're eating all the dead cap space this year so that we can have top 10 cap space next year. So PFF had us talking Jalen Milroe with our 6th pick in their mock drafts. Thoughts? Jalen Milroe is and Cam Ward. They're both the same quarterback, but they're not a I just don't see them being a talent that's just going to turn your franchise around. I mean, the NFL is going that route with these running style quarterbacks. The pocket passers really are no more. The pocket passers are really no more in the NFL. So, I would not go after Jalen Milroe. You're getting the same thing. You get because like Jalen Milroe and Cam Ward, they're both the same quarterback. 1 minute they're doing something phenomenal, and then the next minute it's just inconsistency for me. That's why I don't care about this draft class. I think this is going to be one of the worst quarterback draft classes this year. I don't think Shedeur Sanders is as good as everybody thinks that he is. I don't think Cam. I think only person that right now to me looks like he could be a decent quarterback in the NFL is Quinn Ewers. But Quinn Ewers reminds me of Joe Burrow. He reminds me of Joe Burrow who is just injury prone. That's who, Quinn Ewers reminds me of. So to me, right now, Jackson Dart looks like honestly, Jackson Dart might be the best quarterback in this draft class. If we're talking about physicality, size, arm strength, accuracy, he probably has the best potential in my opinion, but some people may disagree with me on that. Instead of trading Deontay, can we shop Mingo? Possibly. I mean, there were some rumors going around this offseason that could be another guy that they look to shop around. But I see Mingo just being another Terrace Marshall who is on a practice squad right now. Not getting any burn whatsoever. No, me neither. That's another thing. I don't want any more Alabama quarterbacks either. We've seen the Alabama quarterbacks in the NFL. They don't transition well. None of them have. You can't name me one quarterback out of Alabama that's transitioned well in the NFL. People will say, well, Tua, but Tua's in a look at that shit show that's going on down in Miami right now. They're about to be in the same position we are because they're in cap purgatory. They just paid Tua. Like I think Mike McDaniel after last night, if you probably lost that locker room. I'm dead ass serious. Trey Johnson, Thielen, let the young guys play, see what you got, build a team through draft. I mean, PPG, you're just tanking at this point. Listen, I don't believe in tanking, but certain situations I definitely have, but I don't think this is a tank situation. I do think you have pieces on this team that you can build around. So I wouldn't just flat out get rid of everybody. I just don't that you don't see that in the NFL. Nobody does that. Nobody does that. Nobody just trades away all their players. So I like Travis Hunter, Stacy. I like Travis Hunter. Dixon coming in with some. Oh, Dixon, I got to drop the bomb on that one. I got to drop the bomb. Let's do that again. Let's drop another bomb on that. I mean, that was just an absolute statement right there. Absolute statement. Hope Thielen gets well soon without him on the field. They just have to worry about one threat. I mean, Shane, I would disagree with that. I think Xavier Legette did his part. I think Xavier Legette did his part. I totally disagree with that. Okay, PPG, and you're right. That's fine, but no team in the NFL just trades away all their players. It does not happen. That's a fantasy land. That is fantasy land. Nobody just trades away all these pieces. They just don't. They don't do that. So you can continue to think that's your opinion and that's fine, but it won't happen. I'm going to continue to just be realistic in my mindset. Because nobody just trades away all these pieces. And if they do, well, fuck me. You know? But that shit's not happening. So we're going to get into the next topic here. He ain't there yet, but you got to continue to play him, Shane. The only way you know what you got with him is unless you play him. You continue to play him. So, but we've got to, the problem is though, Shane, you could talk about without Thielen. How about let's talk about the tight ends? Let's talk about getting the tight ends involved more, like Tommy Tremble and Tre'Davion Sanders. Because we were told also, and part of the run game, Shane, that we were going to get these tight ends involved, like Tommy Tremble. I'm not, again, but you were talking about the whole team, PPG. You were talking about the whole team. And I guarantee you they won't trade away both wide receivers. That is fantasy. They're not going to trade away 2 wide receivers. Then you have to replace them. Who are you going to replace those 2 wide receivers with, PBG? Again, you got to make it make sense. Nobody just trades away 2 of their best, most reliable wide receivers. That's like the Miami right now, just because they're in cap purgatory, trading away Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. Doesn't make sense. Fantasyland, again. The more I think about it, the more I think we may take a defensive tackle to pair Derek Brown and Robinson with our first. Stills allows you to go 3-4 or 4-3 with the move. AJ Brooks, it's a good move. I wouldn't be opposed to that. I just would love to get an actual pass rusher. Again, a wise man once told me an above average pass rush can make a average corner room look good. So I'm just saying. So I think that's what we need to look at is pass rush. Tight ends not exist except for blocking. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. XL needs to get on the jugs machine to work on his hands, stop using his body. Yeah, I mean, he definitely needs to work on that for sure. I think that he's used to going up and getting it. We have to bolster the D line. Yeah, we definitely do. With our cap issue, how much dead money falls off this year? I think it's like 60 something million, Stacy. I'd have to go back and double check. But I know they were eating before some other things that went down. They were already eating like 46 to 49 million, something like that. So I think it's up to like 60 now. All right. So cheers for the gift of sub. By the way, you are a brave and decent man. Hey, I gifted them the subs because Nervish gave $100 donation to the channel. So I gifted you guys 10 memberships. So Adam is old, mostly like Johnson not signing here. We have 2 veterans basically on contract years, and you want to keep them. You got it. I never said that. Again, I never said I wanted to keep them. So first off, if you take what I said I said that it's a fantasy land because no one trades away their two most reliable weapons, whether you're winning or losing or not. It just doesn't happen in the NFL. PPG, again, open up your ears when you're talking to me because obviously you're not listening to what I'm saying. I never said keep them. I said it's a fantasy land to think that you trade away both of your most reliable wide receivers. That does not happen in the NFL. That's like Miami trading away right now because they're in the shitstorm that they're going to trade away Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill. It just does not happen. Sorry. Doesn't matter about the age. It doesn't matter about the contracts. They're not trading both of those guys away. And if they do, all right, I'll eat my crow. But I can tell you right now, they're not trading them both. They may trade one or the other. But I'm not saying I want to keep them. Did not say that. Not one time in my sentence did I ever say that. But again, you guys just want in the chat, just hear what you want to hear. And then you put words in my mouth. Again. Yeah, I understand that. Yeah, if you don't trade them, yeah, you're keeping them. But I never said I wanted to keep them, nor did I. That's what I'm getting at. So again, listen, I never said that I wanted to keep them. You said you want to keep them. Never said that. Did not say that. We have to think about the possibility of Johnson not wanting to sign here term and walk in the instant. And I'm okay with that. But I don't think you trade both of those guys away. I just don't see it. I see one or the other. If they trade both of them, fine. Fine. I'll eat my crow to PPG for him to be correct that he said that they should trade them both away and that they will. Okay, great. Raiders are open to trade Davante Adams. Go ahead and put Davante Adams in a Jets jersey, Stacy. Go ahead and put him in a Jets jersey. Go ahead and put him in the Jets jersey. Trade value-wise would be to trade Johnson, but I would rather keep him. I mean, yeah, if you want more bang for your buck, you trade Deontay Johnson, right? Thielen, you may get a 4th-round pick for him. Maybe. Maybe. One thing is, A's fans, we don't know if Johnson wants to stay or not. He looked frustrated when Bryce was back there, but he don't look frustrated now, right? I think Johnson being the focal point, he'll be happy. He'll be happy mostly, yeah. And maybe that's all he wants. I guarantee you, Thielen wants to go to Kansas City because he can go win a championship. Yeah, we ain't got the money for Adams now. Yeah. Whatever, PPG. We'll agree to disagree because obviously you're just not listening to me. So it's all good. Adams won't come here. Yeah, of course he wouldn't come here. Why would he come here? Adams wants to win a championship just like Adam Thielen does. So, Adam, who knows? Davante Adams is going to be a Jet, in my opinion, in the next coming weeks. Right, exactly, Marcos. Peace. Because can't have an argument without, can't have a decent argument, but because I'm wrong. But okay. All right. So what does this mean for the Carolina Panthers now that Shaq's out? Okay. Again, you got another captain down. You have 3 out of the 4 captains. One of them is now benched, and then 3 of them are out with injuries. So to me, though, here's the reason why Shaq Thompson's injury puts this team in a little bit of in more shambles than it already is defensively, is because to me, Shaq Thompson year in and year out has been the damn heart of this defense, right? One of our 4 team captains, he was supposed to be the steady hand in the middle of the chaos. But guess what? Carolina's out of captains now. You got Bryce Young riding the bench, like I said. You got Derek Brown out for the season with an injury. Sam Franklin's still nursing a busted foot. So who's left to lead this circus? Really? Nobody. There's nobody really worth mentioning, right? I think Shaq's leadership can't be replaced by a couple motivational speeches, some half-ass rally cries. This team already circling the drain is losing its biggest on-field voice. And considering the state of this defense, riddled with injuries, playing like a bunch of lost kids in the supermarket, this is the last thing they needed. But now we just welcome Trevin Wallace. But that's Shaq Thompson's replacement right now. Drafted the kid in the 3rd round. Now it looks like they're throwing him into the fire early than anyone expected. Ready or not, Wallace is about to get a crash course into the NFL, and reality is going to set in, and the Panthers are banking on him to somehow inject some life into this dying defense. I don't know how they expect that. Again, Wallace has shown flashes. That was during the offseason, workouts, preseason, but let's not pretend that he's Shaq Thompson just yet. All right. His athleticism, the potential's there for sure, but potential doesn't win you games in the NFL. This might be one silver lining for the Panthers, but Wallace has a chance to prove himself. And frankly, the defense could use someone, really anyone, who can make a damn play. Now, the question that comes to my mind is this the end of Shaq Thompson? Like, that's the real kicker here. We might have seen Shaq play his last snap in Carolina, right? The guy's set to hit the free agency at the end of this year. He's been here for over 10 years. It's hard to imagine him coming back to a team that's clearly heading into a different direction. So Thompson's been that steady force, in my opinion, ladies and gentlemen, of that defense. He's been the heart and soul. And let's be real, he's 30 years old, coming off 2 brutal injuries, broken fibula, and then now torn Achilles. Like, this team is full-on rebuild mode. I think, do you really think the Panthers are going to keep a veteran linebacker on the roster? They're clearly looking for fresh blood. So it's unlikely I see him coming back here. I think if Thompson does want to keep playing, which he says he does, you saw that on his Instagram, it's probably not going to be in Carolina. I'm going to be honest with you. Even if he comes back, I don't see Carolina keeping him here. I know it's a shitty way to end his time here, no doubt, because he's been a rock for this franchise since 2015. But football is a cruel game, ladies and gentlemen. This could be the end of an era for him and with the Panthers. So this team's already on life support. You losing Shaq Thompson might just be the key to pulling the plug, right? So his absence leaves a massive hole in this defense, already struggling to stay afloat. I think rookie Trevin Wallace has the potential, but throwing him into the starting lineup isn't going to magically fix everything. And I think Thompson's time in Carolina is over. So, well, I'm glad you got a kick out of it. You continue to live in that fantasy land over there, all right? Maybe sprinkle some fairy dust or, fly away like Peter Pan. Thinking that someone's going to trade away 2 of your most reliable wide receivers, no matter if you're winning or losing. That doesn't happen in the NFL. It's not realistic. So laugh away at your fantasy takes. Start the young guys, evaluate your talent. We're going to see a lot of Trevin Wallace. I'm looking forward to seeing a lot of Trevin Wallace, though. There's a lot of potential there. We're projected to have around 57 million cap space, enough to, and are projected to clear another 47. So that's enough to continue rebuilding without trading everyone away. Thank you, Flame for Jesus. That's what I've been saying. But again, we got people in here that just thinks that trading away the whole team is going to solve all the issues. But they don't know anything about cap space and how that works and how free agency and all that and the contracts work. So But again, I can do a whole segment on cap space and how that works. Yeah, there's definitely still hope when it comes to that. Yeah, I think that's a perfect, that comment right there is another perfect example of why we're seeing all these hamstring issues across the league. It's not just Shaq Thompson. It's across the league, man. This turf has got to go. Marcos Cash comes in, member for 5 months. Where's Broski Build a Bear? He's been MIA. I don't know, but shout out to you for coming in here and becoming a
damn son. Where'd you find this?
To the membership, adding more to the membership. So appreciate that. I still think we can pull out wins against the Bears, Giants, and Broncos. Hey, Stacy, if we do that, we'll be 5. That will be 5 wins, right? No, that'd be 4 wins. Sorry, 4. So if we beat the Bears, the Giants, the Broncos, that would be 4 wins right there. Miami don't want Bryce? Question mark. I don't think anybody wants to go to Miami right now. I think McDaniels has lost that locker room. I don't think that'd be a better situation for Bryce right now. Get Shaq out. He's already out. We need Wanham. Don't know when he's coming back. He could make it back this week. Good afternoon, folks. Good afternoon, Cyber. How good is Waddle? Waddle's really good. Waddle is very, very good. A very reliable wide receiver, but I mean, well, I don't know what you're getting at with the Waddle take. Mad chatter. What's up, Cyber? Stacy comes in. Sadly, owners won't get rid of turf. No, because of the soccer team, Cyber. Because of the soccer team. That's more important, right? Not the organization that you spent billions of dollars on to buy. Not that, Cyber. Not that. Miami needs a quarterback. They might be desperate. I think it's McDaniels more than anything, Dixon. I really don't think it's the team in Miami. They also have other issues. Like that offensive line's not very good. That offensive line there in Dixon is not very good. Scrubs are getting past that offensive line in Miami. So they've got more issues than that. They've also got a lot of injuries too. So, but Miami might be desperate. I don't see that being the case, but I don't see that being the case, but we'll see. Marcos, you had a comment. Where was it at? Something about likes. I don't know what it was. I can't find it. Need a linebacker. Yeah, we're going to talk more about that. All right, here's some harsh truths that we need to talk about from that loss against the Cincinnati Bengals, ladies and gentlemen. Here's the harsh truths, okay? Because let's just cut the crap. Because again, we're in a tailspin right now. Now, again, this game wasn't that bad against the Bengals. Yeah, we lost 34-24. Now we're sitting at 1-3. You got to Shaq Thompson's Achilles snapped, which means he's out for the year, the heart of the defense. Somehow through this mess, there were still some glimmer of hopes, but there are also some harsh truths. First things first, I want to talk about is that man, number 8 right there, J.C. Horn, is an absolute beast. He's a top 5 corner in the NFL. I don't care. Top 10 at least, right now. Like PFF doesn't have him graded out, but he's been carrying this team. He shut down Devontae Adams. When Jamar Chase was on Horn, he only allowed 1 catch for 11 yards. So now that this defense, J.C. Horn's now the guy that has to carry this defense on his back. And Jadeveon Clowney has to also become a leader on that defense. Derek Brown and the both of them going out now, there's got to be some change. There's got to be some change. So, again, this dude have been locking down in coverage, especially against Jamar Chase. Yeah, and he made some plays, but they damn sure weren't when Horn was on him. That's what I'm saying. So when Horn was on him, he only allowed one catch for 11 yards, right? So here's the thing. The Bengals moved Chase around because they didn't want him anywhere near Horn, which says a lot to me. So Horn is elite. Everyone knows that. The only thing standing behind him is the total domination of his injury history. I understand that, ladies and gentlemen. But if the Panthers want a sliver of hope here, keeping Horn healthy is priority number 1, 2, and 3 at this point. Now that you got Dane Jackson coming back, which I think you transition Troy Hill out because he missed I don't know how many tackles in that game. You transition him out of nickel. You put Dane Jackson there. You got Mike Jack on the outside. I think your corner room is solidified right there. I think that's a solid corner room. With that being said, how hurt is Josie Jewell, Mad Chatter? He has a groin injury and a hamstring injury. He's got a groin injury and a hamstring injury. So it's not very good. I don't know how long he's going to be out for, but it's not good. So the offense in this game was actually good. I am going to be truthful on that. I thought the offense was actually good in this game because here's something that might surprise you. The Panthers' offense was actually functional. It didn't actually flatline. Ever since we benched Bryce Young, who's been straight up terrible, Andy Dalton steps in, and the offense has found its rhythm. Sure, Dalton tossed a pick, but that wasn't his fault. Part of it, well, it was 50-50. It was on Icky, allowing the pressure. Icky was doing his thing, trying to move him on the outside of the quarterback, but Hendrickson just made a better play, and Andy should have just stepped up in the pocket. But that's all that was. But he played damn well. The run game was clicking. The offensive line has been top 5 the past 2 weeks. It's actually been top 10 the whole year, but that's a different story for another day. And they've won the time of possession battle, which is shocking because if the Panthers had cashed in on that 4th and goal instead of Dalton throwing an interception as well, the game might have turned out differently. The point is that there's something to build on here. If Canals keeps it simple, gets the ball to the hands of the playmakers, like to see the tight end position get some more burn. I want to see Tommy Tremble, Jadavion Sanders get more involved because you do have playmakers there. I think Tommy Tremble and Jadavion Sanders are true guys that can make plays for you on this offense. We already know Thielen's out. He's also on the trade block. Deontay Johnson, we don't know if he's going to get traded or not, but he's also been in rumors of this whole Kansas City thing. You got Thielen, who's been in rumors for the Buffalo Bills and Kansas City. So, but I want to see if doesn't matter about the trades, but now with the team we've got now, I just want to see the tight ends get put more involved. I think besides Leggett, Deontay Johnson, Chuba Hubbard, Miles Sanders, those guys are getting involved, but I want to see the tight end room get more involved. All right. And then if we can cut down on some stupid mistakes, I think this offense can actually go somewhere, and at least they won't embarrass us each and every week, right? Again, I told y'all Chuba Hubbard is the man. I got another short coming out today about him. So we're going to be breaking down him in a minute or less on a short today, so y'all got to check that out. Obviously, I know a lot of people with the run game is waiting for Jonathan Brooks to come back from this ACL tear. In the meantime, Chuba Hubbard's killing it. I like what I see from this guy. This guy, I think, is a legitimate top 5 back right now. Like the way he's playing like a top 5 back. He's running hard. He's blocking. He's catching passes. He's doing it all. Another 100-yard rushing day against the Bengals proves he's not a fluke, man. Sure, Brooks might come back, probably steal some carries later in the season, but Hubbard's making a strong case right now to be the guy. And I think if he can keep this up, ladies and gentlemen, the Panthers might be looking at a contract extension for him. Now, frankly, They've got bigger issues than rushing Brooks back soon. I think you got to keep feeding Hubbard, and at least one part of the offense will stay solid. Now, another thing is Miles Sanders. We were talking about, I put him on the trade candidate on that poll question. You trade Miles Sanders, you take $4 million in dead cap, you get $6 million back in your cap space. I think Miles Sanders has got to be a guy that you got to look at the deadline to trade away. I think you got to. Okay? All right, because thank you, Marcos. Yeah, guys, I can't get to all you guys' questions in the chat. I see it. I just can't do it. I just can't get to all of your questions. All right. But yeah, I would greatly appreciate that. I will get to your questions in there for sure. Another thing is with this thing, like the offensive line didn't suck. The offensive line without Damian Lewis actually wasn't bad. I thought it could have been a disaster just because I'm not a big fan of Chandler Zavala. But guess what? He held it up. He did his thing. I mean, Chandler Zavala only gave up one hurry. Taylor Moton has been a beast in pass protection. Austin Corbett, along with right guard Robert Hunt, have kept this interior clean. This, again, I'm going to tell you once and for all that this offensive line is solidified. Andy Dalton has time to throw. So did Bryce. Bryce had time to throw, but Bryce is too worried about the ball getting picked off. And he's only looking for one receiver, and that's Adam Thielen. So the Andy Dalton going out there proves also to me, and I'm going to just tell you all this across the NFL, Andy Dalton coming off the bench and doing the damage that he's done, right? He's throwing for over 500 yards, 5 touchdowns in just 2 games, proves to me that a guy who's 36 years old coming off the bench, the quarterback play in the NFL right now, ladies and gentlemen, you're hearing it here first. And if you haven't heard it anywhere else, you're going to hear it here first. The quarterback play in the NFL is ass. Besides a couple of quarterbacks, some of these young guys coming in like Will Levis, Bryce Young, some other players across the league, Daniel Jones, Trevor Lawrence, Anthony Richardson is another one. Kyler Murray's another one. Even though Kyler's had like one good game. The quarterback play is terrible. Yeah, across the NFL. I'm just going to be completely honest with you. It's just terrible across the NFL. Like you can't tell me it's not. There's only a few quarterbacks right now in the NFL that are legitimately good. And Kevin O'Connell up in Minnesota, what a job he's done with Sam Darnold. What a job that guy has done with Sam Darnold. My God. And look at Baker down in Tampa. I mean, Jared Goff also in Detroit. Like there's some guys that have turned it around. Geno Smith looks like a top 5 quarterback right now. Like, whether you believe that or not, he looks good. Is he a top 5 quarterback right now? No, I don't think so, but he looks like one. At least the past couple games. The Seahawks look good. Even though Detroit just played better last night, I just think the quarterback play across the NFL is not very good. Only certain quarterbacks in the NFL right now are making a case. That's just me. But again, back to this offense. I mean, again, the offensive line solidified. I mean, Dan Morgan invested in these guys, and right now they're the ones that one of the few things that keep this team from totally collapsing, I think, is that offensive line. Again, they didn't get blown out. Moral victories are the BS in the NFL. Let's be real. All right. The Panthers actually showed up against the Bengals. They did get steamrolled like most people expected. Despite all the injuries, the dysfunction this team fought. Look, no, I don't expect this team to make a playoff run. Again, I don't. I predicted them to have 6 to 7 wins. right? 5 to 7 was my like range. I said its ceiling was 7, floor was 4. Okay, so I think Panthers fans in general are just tired of losing. But if there's one thing that they want to see is some damn fight, right? Like we just want to see competent football. But I know that there's a fan base, just like PPG, that just wants to tank and lose and just build off of draft capital. I get that too. But that just doesn't, nobody tanks in the NFL. Just doesn't happen. Okay. But there's also, I feel like this fan base is torn between getting the number 1 overall pick and winning football games. It's very tough to read as a fan base. It's really tough with this fan base right now. Nobody in NFL tanks. I know that it's probably part of people's mindsets to just tank and get the first round pick, and trade away all the players, but that just doesn't happen. Not in the NFL. You know? Matt Chatter, you know you're lying when you said that Bryce is good. I see your comment down there. I know you're lying. T. Thompson says, I want to win games. I want to win games too. But T. Thompson, you got people in the chat like PPG, if he's still watching, because he got quiet, that thinks that we should just trade everybody away. Like Deontay Johnson, Adam Thielen, Derek Brown. Trade them all away. Right? Trade everybody. Trade the whole 53-man roster away. Try to get as much draft capital as possible. That does not happen. It just doesn't. That's a fantasy reality. Trade Derek Brown. Trade them all away. Let's not build around anybody. Let's just trade every single piece on this team. And PPG, what happens when all these players go away from Carolina? What happens? Oh, they go somewhere else and they ball the fuck out. To make that make sense. It doesn't happen, man. Everybody in this chat wants to win, I feel like. It just doesn't work that way. Yes, you could trade some guys here and there. But I don't think that you trade away your best defensive tackle. You don't trade away your best wide receiver, even though he's on a contract year. You don't know if he's going to go. Now, again, Carolina doesn't know if he's going to stay or go. But again, Carolina also, if they actually signed him right now and extended him, they would save money. If Carolina was able to sign Deontay Johnson right now and extend him, they would actually they would save money. They would actually save cap space money. It would be like $10.2 million if they extended Deontay Johnson right now. Just so you know, for those of you that want, like PPG, to say to trade away Deontay Johnson. If you extend him now, you save $10 million. Did you know that, PPG, or no? Nah, you didn't know that. Adam Thielen, yes, you could trade him away, but you're not going to get like a 3rd-round pick for him. You probably get a 4th or a 5th at best. You trade Miles Sanders right now, you take $4 million in dead cap hit. You save 6.4 in cap space. Bryce Young, you trade him. I don't know how much I don't know how the cap space works for his contract. I'd have to look into his because I haven't really looked into his. And you also save money with Adam Thielen if you trade him away. You save I think it's like 4 something or 2 something. It's between 2 and 4 million in cap space. I think if you trade away Bryce, I'm pretty sure you eat a lot of cap. Dead cap. If I'm not mistaken. But I could be wrong. You can't take a season off in the NFL if it isn't like it used to be. People just stay in one place. Now they play for the contract wherever that contract takes you. Yeah, I agree with that too, Flame. I agree with that. Clay said yesterday, we have drafted 19 defensive players over the last couple years, and only 2 are still in the league. Well, this is the new scouting department, Stacy. This is a new scouting department. Okay. Matt Chatter, Trevor Lawrence is the Jaguars quarterback. Trevor Lawrence, Matt Chatter. Trevor Lawrence, Sunshine, boy from Clemson, is the Jaguars quarterback. But again, back to some harsh truths here. The harsh reality is, ladies and gentlemen, though, and I'm going to finish this topic up here and then go on to the next one. Let's not kid ourselves. We're still in a mess. They've lost 17 of their last 20 games. The season is spiraling fast. We're 1-3. But there's a few things that we can hang our hats on. You got J.C. Horn, who's elite in coverage. You got Chuba Hubbard, who's emergence. Offensive line is solidified. And the offense that might be turning the corner under Andy Dalton. Is that enough to save this season? Probably not. But at least there's something to watch other than the usual dumpster fire with Bryce Young back there. Who knows? Maybe we get a few lucky breaks. Maybe some actual coaching adjustments on the defensive side of the ball that needs to happen. Ejiro Evero. I can't blame it all on Ejiro Evero. If you watched my show yesterday, I didn't blame it all on him. I know that in the title yesterday is Evero the issue. Part of it is him. But on that but all of this offensive stuff, it's just like I said yesterday in that short. The run game might be gone. The offensive line might be solidified. Andy Dalton might be lighting a fire under this offense, and they might be putting up points on the board. But it doesn't matter if you don't have a defense. It just doesn't. So let's move on. So now let's get into the trade topics. We're going to get into it. Now these are people that could be traded. These are guys that could be traded. Jadeveon Clowney could be a guy that gets traded. Bryce Young could be a guy that gets traded. Like all these guys could be trade targets. And it wouldn't surprise me. I like me some Jaden Daniels, Matt Chatter. I'm liking what I'm seeing from Jaden Daniels. If I had to start a franchise right now, it'd be between him and CJ Stroud. For sure. You can't trade Shaq, Matt Chatter. He's out for the year. You can't trade players that are out for the season. You can't trade him. He's on the last year of his contract. So you can't trade him. Get that, like, people that wants to trade him, it ain't happening. So here's the thing. Why we're talking about this is because we're obviously in a precarious position right now. All right. We've shown signs of improvement over the last fortnight under Dave Canales. However, this fluid situation that could change quickly if the team cannot pick up some positive results. Okay. What the fuck? Hold on one second, ladies and gentlemen. Hold on one second. Hell happened here? Let me see something here. Let me see something here. Where is this at? Oh, here it is. Here it is. Sorry, I cannot find this. I can't believe it didn't do what I asked it to do. There's no way this is correct, but we're going to find out if it is. All right, there we go. All right. So here's the thing. If this train wreck continues, okay. All right, I had to fix something on my end. Again, there's some players that could be out the door before the trade deadline. I think that Dan Morgan's probably going to have to swallow his pride, raise some white flags, start dumping players to get something out of this mess. Like, I'm being serious. Now, again, I don't think, okay? I love it, Dixon. I love it. I love it. She tastes like cigarettes, Lieutenant Diane. Yeah, you're right, Stacy. All right. But here's no BS because we got to look at the Panthers players who could be packing their bags if this team continues to suck. Okay. Thielen, again, he's still got the best hands on this team, in my opinion, but he's expendable. I'm going to be real. He's expendable. Like the Panthers have too many wide receivers for a team that can't get its act together. And if things keep going south, I guarantee you Morgan's best bet might be to offload some of these guys to stockpile draft picks for the future. And I think Thielen is high on that list because, yeah, I know he's reliable and he moves the chains, but he's also on the wrong side of 30, ladies and gentlemen. So hamstring, at least out for three more weeks with that injury. That's a problem. The young guys like Leggett, Mingo can't seem Mingo can't seem to hold on the ball. Leggett does need to get, I think, drop one pass, I think. But without Thielen out there, those guys have to step up. And once he's healthy, the Panthers, I think, would be dumb not to take the calls for him because he's only got 1 year left on his deal. So there's no guarantee another bites the dust here. So if the Panthers and Dan Morgan keep sucking, why not roll the dice? See if you can get a third round pick for him. See if you can get, I don't think you get, at best, you might get a third round pick. But I think you're probably in the 5 or 6 range for a pick for him. Right? Miles Sanders. Again, that's a guy that I think needed to go a long time ago. Right now, Chuba Hubbard's balling out. I think making Miles Sanders look like the odd man out, right? You got Sanders was supposed to be that guy when they signed him, right? But now he's just playing second fiddle. So let's not sugarcoat this. His first season was disappointing as hell. Recent flashes might bump him up to his trade value, though. But teams like the Colts, Cowboys, who are reportedly sniffing around for him earlier, if Jonathan Brooks returns from this ACL soon, his role is going to be non-existent because Brooks is the future, at least we hope. And Sanders could be trade bait if the Panthers are ready to cut their losses. So I think it might sting a bit considering that they ate some dead money, but they also saved more, in my opinion. But Dan Morgan already dumped a bunch of veterans this offseason, so what's one more anyways? So I think if someone's willing to take the rest of Sanders' contract, then pack his bags. Send him on his way. That's the way I look at it. Jadeveon Clowney, signing with Carolina looked like a steal, but let's be blunt. He wasn't exactly setting the world on fire So a veteran presence and DJ Wanham, who's still recovering from a torn quad. I do think Clowney's leadership does matter on this defense right now. But leadership doesn't mean squad if the season continues to circle down the drain. So I think if the Panthers keep losing, they might look to trade Clowney at this point. But Morgan should be running the Panthers like a ruthless business. If someone's willing to deal for an aging pass rusher, then why not? The problem is his cap hit for the 2025 is $14 million, which might make teams hesitant. Only $2 million of that is guaranteed. So a deal isn't impossible, but I don't expect a feeding frenzy. All right. Deontay Johnson. Deontay Johnson, this one's an interesting one for me because, again, this guy has come alive. When Andy Dalton obviously took over for Bryce, this guy looks like a legit wide receiver one, right? He's already racked up over 200 yards, 2 touchdowns, that's just the last 2 games. So proving he can still be a difference maker when the offense isn't an absolute dumpster fire. Here's the kicker. There are trade rumors swirling. Adam Schefter, Albert Beer have both been floating Johnson's name as a potential trade piece if the Panthers don't turn things around soon. Now, Schefter even went as far to say that Johnson's likely gone in free agency next year if you saw him on the Pat McAfee show. So if he doesn't get shipped out first, like Morgan's got a choice to make. Extend the guy or trade him because his stock is high right now. And you could save more money if you extend him now than later. So if the Panthers get it together by the deadline, it might be smarter to get some value now rather than losing him for nothing in the offseason. And then last but not least, Bryce Young. I know that you guys are probably licking your chops at this. Some of you guys are probably licking your chops about Bryce Young in the chat right now. I'm sure some of you are. Let's just say this. Bryce Young went from the number 1 overall pick to riding the bench faster than anyone could have predicted. And he's still being a good teammate. And let's not sugarcoat it. If Young's been a disaster, an absolute disaster, okay? He's lost his confidence. When Dave Canales benched him after 2 games, spoke volumes about how far he's fallen. Speculation's already been building up about whether the Panthers could trade Young, cut their losses. Canales isn't ready to pull the trigger just yet. At least that's what he's saying. He's hoping Young can be salvaged. But if things continue to spiral, you bet this is a conversation that gets louder. I think this is a conversation that should have been already had. Now, Chase Daniels came out with this crazy 3-way trade on Fox. I don't remember the name of the channel or the talk show that's on Fox that Chase Daniels is a part of, but it was Carolina got a second and a third in this 3-way trade. They got a second from the Rams, I think it was, for Bryce, and I think like a couple, like an extra future pick or something like that. And then Stafford goes to Miami, and Miami will give us a 3rd-round pick as well. So that would be, I would probably take that trade, me personally, because I didn't think we would even get close to a 2nd-round pick for him. I thought that the Bryce Young situation to me seemed like Josh Rosen 2.0 all over again. So there's always teams, I guarantee you out there, that are willing to take a chance on getting a guy like Bryce Young, a project, right? A former number 1 pick who people think that he got dealt a crappy hand. But it's just funny to me that a 36-year-old stiff-ass Andy Dalton can go out there with the same team and throw for over 300 yards or 200 yards and a couple touchdowns. So that's just me. But let's be honest. That's more likely week by week. I don't be surprised if these guys are shown the door. If it's me, it's Thielen and Miles Sanders. You keep Clowney and you keep Johnson. Because there's nobody else in the pass rush. And maybe when DJ won him, we might actually have a decent pass rush. We don't know. But I guarantee you with Bryce, could be another one for me, especially if Morgan somehow just pulls the plug and gets a stockpile of draft picks and then hits the reset button. Like, at this point, it's time to think about, for the Carolina Panthers, it is time to think about the future because the present is a damn mess. And with the whole Bryce Young thing, we've set ourselves back maybe an extra year or 2 to 3. So, you got to think about it from that standpoint. And this next draft class, quarterback wise, in my opinion, is very, very questionable. Very questionable. Besides maybe 2 or 3 guys, in my opinion. Going to get to some comments here. Stacy says, I agree with Adam Thielen. We can trade Sanders and Dylan and call Dylan up till Brooks is ready. Do not trade Bryce. Okay. Get rid of Bryce would be a weight off the shoulders. What's funny is the media said we had no weapons and we failed Bryce. Now that they're saying we trade our wide receivers for picks. I know. That's what I'm saying, Final Boss. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. Like, we had a guy in here named PBG said the same thing. So he obviously listens to mass media. That's why I can't stand mass media. That's why I can't stand it. Same thing with politics and all the other bullshit. That's why I don't listen. That's why I don't get into politics. That's why I don't listen to mass media. That's why I don't watch ESPN and Fox. I just look on Twitter and I see some of their takes. Second and third would be a steal. Absolutely would be. Dalton coming in, playing like he has killed any Bryce trade value, even if he had any. We'd be lucky to get a 6 for him now. Probably. What did Josh Rosen go for, ladies and gentlemen? What did Josh Rosen go for? I'm kind of curious. I really am. I'm kind of curious what Josh Rosen went for. Because I kind of see it as that same situation. Yeah, Stacy, but this is I think with this new front office and Dave Canales as our coach, I think with Dan Morgan and Dave Canales as the front office this is different. I think they'll hit the reset button properly this time than they have in the past. Defense is crumbling. Free agent targets. All right. Free agent targets. Let's just get straight to it. Again, we are right now in a bad situation on the defensive side, right? You already lose Derek Brown. Shaq Thompson is out for the year. Josie Jewell probably going to be sidelined for a significant time, dealing with 2 injuries. Jewell's dealing with a hamstring and a groin. So, I don't know how long he's going to be out. So now the plan is now we're supposed to just rely on Trevin Wallace, who's barely out of rookie camp. You got Claude and Churlis, who's in his second year, still trying to figure out where the bathrooms are at the stadium. You got John Radigan. I mean, come on, this is the NFL, not some next. I think the next man inspiration is just out the door. I mean, you can't give me that shit when you got these kinds of scraps and you're scraping for the bottom of the barrel and you're desperate. So what's next? I think you have to hit the free agent market. Now I know you're probably going to have to make some room. You're going to have to figure out some cap space, but that's why you brought Brant Tillis in. We've seen people manipulate the cap somehow. I think that these guys are realistic guys that we could go out and get. I think Kawan Anderson, as you can see there in the San Francisco gear, is a definition of a stopgap situation. Let's be honest. The Panthers don't have a choice right now. He's a thumper. He's been around the league. Okay? He went from Tampa to San Francisco to the Jets, Saints, and Steelers. So, sure, he's not no spring chicken anymore. He led the league in solo tackles back in 2016. He made a Pro Bowl back in 2017. And most importantly, he's not injured right now. So, which is more than what you can say with half of the Carolina Panthers defense. This guy's currently just chilling on the Broncos practice squad, which means he's available. And if the Panthers want someone who can immediately step in and hit people, he's a guy that can do it, I think. Now, he might not be the game changer he was a few years ago. But given the state of our linebacker room, I think he'd instantly be one of the more reliable players on our defense. Because let's face it, the Panthers need all the help they can get right now. Now, Shaq Leonard, as you can see there in the Eagles gear, career has been a bit of a roller coaster. He was an absolute beast for the Colts 2018 to 2021. 4 straight Pro Bowl teams, making other linebackers look like they play pee-wee football. He's a tackling machine. He's great in pass coverage. He was an elite pass coverage linebacker, I thought, when he went back in those days. But he's had some back issues that have kind of kicked his ass a little bit, and he hasn't been the same since. But Shaq Leonard's a South Carolina native, so maybe a homecoming is in the cards. He left Indianapolis after a spat over playing time. Let's be real. He wouldn't have the issue here. He'd have all the playing time he would want, okay? And you got Carolina Panthers linebacker situation and complete free fall. I think Leonard would get all the snaps he could handle, and then assuming he can still play in the NFL, maybe a change of scenery and a prove-it situation is exactly what this guy needs to kind of reclaim some of that old magic. Again, it's a long shot, but at this point, when you're the Panthers and in the situation we are in, what do we have to lose? Okay? And then last but not least, Jacob Phillips. That's a wild card for me. Jacob Phillips has the talent, no doubt about it. He was a 3rd-round pick back in 2020 draft, but he's barely seen the field because of a series of freak injuries. He's been sidelined with a bicep tear and a pectoral injury since leaving Cleveland. So he's kind of been in limbo mode, right? And this is a big but. When I say but Phillips could still have some best football ahead of him. He's still young. And if he can stay healthy for 5 minutes, he might still turn into something decent. Like the Panthers, again, could take a chance on him because, let's be honest, they've already got patchwork again on this defense that they got to do. Phillips isn't going to save the season, but if he stays healthy, which is a huge if, unfortunately, he can provide some depth. And that's exactly what the Panthers need right now. And they need anything right now. So, again, it's all fucked up. Let's not sugarcoat this. The Panthers were just in deep trouble. And this linebacker situation just makes things worse, a whole lot worse. And the options there are options out there. That really aren't ideal. But again, desperate times call for desperate measures. And whether it's a guy like Kawan Alexander or Shaq Leonard or Jacob Phillips, like we got to have to make some moves. Okay. And if they don't, we're screwed. End of story. Especially in this linebacker room. Roll had the perfect bridge quarterback in Teddy. Should have stuck with him until they found their guy. Yep. I don't disagree with that, final boss. Rosen was traded to Miami for a 2nd and a 5th. Well, you might be able to get that then, Stacy. I still don't understand why we ain't got Josh Dobbs. Because I'm pretty sure he's San Fran's backup, and I don't think they have anybody else worthwhile behind Purdy. More recent, what did San Fran get for Trey Lance? I think a third. I think it was a third-round pick, if I'm not mistaken. Felipe. Joe Milton would be worth a late-round pick if we could get the pass to bite. I think Canals could develop him. Yeah, I would be all for going after Joe Milton. They took him in the 7th round. Why not give him a 7th-round pick back for him? It was a 4th-round pick. Okay, Stacy, I thought it was a 3rd. Milton has potential. He has a cannon. He does. Dude, I've never seen a guy who can throw 70 yards off his back foot. Like, absolute can just launch it. And it's got velocity. He's got some velocity on that ball. I did buy Bryce jersey white. I saw him play in NFL snap, and I'll never do that again for a player. Dixon, I got his right there too. I got it right there too. So, Brad, I think he went for a 2nd and a 5th. Apparently from Stacy. Stacy in the chat said that Rosen went for a 2nd and a 5th. So, but again, guys, like we're just in a peculiar situation, ladies and gentlemen. This is true. Playing for Jesus makes a good point. You can't compare that because he wasn't a 1st-round pick. I mean, a 1st overall pick. Sorry. So he's right. That does the comparisons. It's tough to compare them like that. But Josh Rosen wasn't either. Josh Rosen wasn't the 1st overall pick. That's also hard to compare him. But I do see the situation to be similar in that aspect of things. I do. I do see the situation being similar. You know what I mean? Like, I do see the situation being similar in those aspects of things. But that's just me. Guys, we got 52 votes, but only 29 likes. Do me a favor. Make sure you smash that like button. I would greatly appreciate it. Make sure you smash that like button. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Make sure you click that post notifications bell so you don't miss out on new content. I would greatly appreciate that. I'm going to get to a couple more of your comments. I like Milton as well. Shannon Tyler comes in and says, welcome, Shannon. Jamarcus Russell was a number 1 overall pick. Yeah. And you know what's unfortunate? I think that Bryce is a bigger bust than Jamarcus Russell. You want to know why? Because there's a difference. One guy didn't try and had all the talent in the world and probably would have been a good quarterback in the NFL if he actually would have watched tape. But you also have Bryce Young who's trying and just sucks. And all the value that we gave up to get him. That's why I think Jamarcus Russell is not the biggest bust of all time. That's why I think Bryce Young might be. Just saying. So if the 49ers had not hit gold with Purdy, and their trade for Lance would be on par with the Bryce trade, they gave Miami a ton of picks to move up. Yeah. It's crazy. Crazy, final boss. It's crazy. Again, it's a crazy world on how it works in the NFL. It's a crazy world on how things work in the NFL. Guys, do me a favor. Make sure you smash that like button, hit that subscribe button. There is some breaking news from the Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders are shopping Davante Adams. The Raiders are shopping Davante Adams right now as we speak. So I just want to let y'all know that. And he's probably going to be going to the New York Jets. So just so y'all know. Guarantee you he's a Jet. Guarantee you he's a Jet. Or he's a Saint. He's either a Jet or a Saint. I'm going to be honest. So, guys, I appreciate everyone joining the live stream. Do me a favor. Make sure you smash that like button, hit that subscribe button. Also, do me a favor tonight, 7 p.m. EST. We've got the NFC South Roundtable, and I need all my Carolina Panthers crew, Ropp Gang crew there at Roundtable Sports on the NFC South Roundtable, a part of Roundtable Sports. Y'all got to come in, tune in live, come hang out, come over there. We'll come watch us debate the NFC South. It's going to be a fun show. Here is Roundtable Sports.
Roundtable Sports Network brings you NFL divisional debate coverage on a weekly basis from your favorite content creators across YouTube, featuring the AFC East Roundtable live Monday and Wednesday evenings, the AFC South Roundtable live Tuesdays at 7 p.m. EST, the NFC South Roundtable live Tuesdays at 7 p.m. EST, the NFC West Roundtable live Tuesdays at 9 p.m. EST. The AFC West Roundtable live Tuesdays at 9 p.m. EST. The NFC North Roundtable live Wednesdays at 6 p.m. EST. The AFC North Roundtable live Wednesdays at 6 p.m. EST. The NFC East Roundtable live Thursdays at 6 p.m. EST. Roundtable Sports. Real coverage from real fans.
So, yeah, make sure y'all tune in at 7 p.m. EST on the NFC South Roundtable on Roundtable Sports. Also, again, even though I'm about to end this live here shortly, do me a favor, make sure you smash that like button, hit that subscribe button. And again, live goal every single time I'm live is 100 likes or more. I would greatly appreciate that. So, guys, even though some of you that might have missed the full live, you can always go back and replay it and watch it. And just do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button. Stacy, I'm going to get to this comment and then I'm heading out. Okay, so who was a number one pick as a quarterback lately that has come in and done well? The last one I could think of is Cam Newton. I mean, look at CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud, it's a perfect example. Now, he's not the number one overall pick as a quarterback. But if you're talking about a first-round pick, look at CJ Stroud. Look at Jaden Daniels. But yes, as a number one overall pick, okay, I think the last person that has done well, would probably it would be Cam, I think. I think it would be Cam, if I'm not mistaken. Wasn't Baker number one overall? I mean, I guess you could say Baker. Joe Burrow, yeah. Joe Burrow is number one overall. I mean, could we say Baker Mayfield, though? Stacy, would you say Baker? Even though, I guess the last one would be Joe Burrow. But again, Joe Burrow has been injured. He always gets hurt. So it's a tough one. The last one to be successful, but Joe Burrow did go to a Super Bowl. Joe Burrow did go to a Super Bowl. Cam Newton went to a Super Bowl. Now, neither one of them won. I guess it would be Joe Burrow, though. Now, if we're talking about first-round quarterbacks, there's plenty of them to go to. But number one overall, it's a tough question, Stacy. I would say it would probably be Joe Burrow. That's the last one, so. Well, I appreciate everyone joining the live stream. Do me a favor, smash that like button, hit that subscribe button on the way out. I appreciate everyone in here. More to come. I got more content coming to you today, so be on the lookout. All right. All right. So I appreciate y'all. Love you guys. Remember 3 things. Have fun, be safe, and as always, keep pounding.